Peddling through psychological trauma, part 3. As I told you before, nobody in this universe is immune to psychological trauma. Not long ago, our parliamentarian had been changing insult, and you could say they were throwing punches against one another in a manner that does not represent the title they carry as Member of Parliament. Here we have two grown-up men from 𝙁𝙊𝙇 land, representative of the people of 𝙁𝙊𝙇, who have crossed the red line, and they have now become the most popular people in the whole world, fighting in Parliament building, a place where they work. We used to see a lot of this type of war in other countries, where people are jumping on top of the table and punching one another just in Parliament. But now it has reached us in Uganda. And thank you, Mr. Akola and 𝙏𝙏𝙖𝙣𝙠. You are really representing the people of 𝙁𝙊𝙇. It's very shameful, but as I said, no one is immune to psychological trauma. Maybe the two gentlemen doesn't know that they're also having problems, psychological problems, what they have been going through, what they have gone through, and how they reach that position of becoming a leader to represent us in Parliament. But now that is the result of accumulated bad experience of what happened to your people. They stayed in the camp and they came back. They are now trying to put their life together. And you people thought it was so easy that you can just forget it and then you carry on life as nothing happened. You see, what happened to our people ever since we got independence, ever since 1971, when Amin took power? We lost a lot of people. A lot of people had been killed. A lot of people had been dying. And those experience, those who died, they just don't go. We can bury them. But the memory remains forever. Some of you may not know that these people, being the Member of Parliament and their legislators, they are also peddling through psychological trauma. But you know, most of us don't want to accept, don't want to talk about it. Maybe it helps if you start talking about your problem, because you cannot just change words in Parliament and you start punching one another. It does not make sense. That is a place where you work. Maybe you have crossed the red line, but then you have to understand you are a representative of the people of 𝙁𝙊𝙇. Probably you people had gone through a lot of trauma, as all Ugandans, all the 𝙁𝙊𝙇s, all the other people. who have seen bad things happening in the past are now enjoying your leadership role, and you are trying to forget the last 30 to 40 years, what happened, how it happened, and what should be done. Maybe it's time you two gentlemen start thinking how you can apologize to the people of 𝙁𝙗𝙘 about your behavior in Parliament. We have a group of people who are your supporters. Some are praising you, Akol. Some are praising Odonga for what he did. But to be honest, no leader in a leadership role should use physical assault in a house of law, in a place where you had been sent to represent our people. You are a role model, but by throwing punches in Parliament, it tells us, the people of 𝙁𝙗𝙘, that you, the two gentlemen, are not yet ready for a leadership role unless you wake up, you go to your constituency, you go to the people of 𝙁𝙗𝙘, and you apologize for that bad behavior. You are representing 𝙁𝙗𝙘. And if that is how you two behaves, then we are sitting on a time bomb. Because the next person who is going to follow you people in that leadership role will also throw punches, will also box somebody, will also go to Italy and learn martial arts. That is what you are trying to teach our young people, which is not acceptable. Those who are in the same position you are in today are going to follow your footsteps. They will be fighting everywhere, in the bar, in the football field. If you disagree with your friend in 𝙏𝙝𝙖𝙣𝙠 Stadium, you just knock them out. And then you come out and say, okay, now let's try to reconcile. You cannot reconcile when you have already thrown punches. You can try to find a way to make the people who elected you into that position believe you. But the moment they start losing trust in you, because you are dubious sort of leaders, dubious leaders without proper code of conduct, then we are in trouble. When you use force to assault anybody, anywhere, it's tasteless, unacceptable. We may now be laughing at you too, or celebrating such behavior from our leaders. But let's be honest, it will not take us anywhere. I know we the 𝙁𝙗𝙘 people tend to associate ourselves with those who have bitter tongue, those who can insult one another, and we burst into laughter, and we find it nice, and we motivate them to carry on. Say, Mr. Cole, you have done a good job for knocking or boxing this man. You should do it again. And the other one will say, Odong Oto, you have done something very good for telling this man the truth, who he is. But that is not the way forward. That is what we call entertainment. If you want to become someone who is ready to entertain the public, then you resign. You go to the entertainment business so that you can make us laugh. No matter how educated you are, or you may be, if you don't have knowledge from birth, if you really don't have knowledge from birth, my brothers, then you are in big trouble. And it's the same time of trouble we are seeing now. And whatever you put your hand on becomes barren. Whatever you do, it will not be worthy. It will be useless. Whatever you do, wherever you are, in whatever field you stand, nothing will grow in that field. No matter how fertile the land can be, we will not reap any harvest. We very well know that our people, and you, the two gentlemen, you know very well that our people has gone through sad moment in life. You know very well. That's why you are in parliament representing them. But you have decided to become a laughing stock. Let's first forget the level of the consciousness, social class, political belief, and focus on who we are, what we want, and how we can fill the gap that after spending many years in the camp, we want to create a better place for our children, for our grandchildren, and we have to honor our ancestors, our grandfathers, our grandmothers, those who are buried in those lands. Let's think about how best we can bring our people together and make sure we pick up the pieces. This sort of behavior is not taking us anywhere. You can just see how people react to you. A call, quarreling, punching one another in parliament. It's a shame. cannot take it back. You may be trying to prove how powerful you are. You may try to prove how powerful you are. But instead of focusing on how we can defend our people, you are punching one another in the face in Parliament, and you're not ashamed of yourself. Now, instead of protecting our people, instead of protecting their land, you are trying to show us that we have a leadership gap in Acholi land. We don't even know how to go about it. We don't know how to go about it. If we have a gap in leadership in Acholi land, then what are you doing there? If you cannot unite the people of Acholi, what are you doing there? If you cannot fight for your own people, what are you doing there? Just step down. Let somebody else take your place. It's very easy that we have some people who can talk very nicely to people of Acholi land, that they have a smooth voice to convince these people that vote me. I'll kill for you a cow. I'll kill for you a goat. It does not matter even if you taste only the soup. I am the person to lead you. That is nonsense. You two are not the people to take Acholi people forward. You, the legislators from Acholi land, I understand that some of you are even talking to our ancestors. You are talking to our ancestors. But I really wonder if you understand what our ancestor represents. If you understand what our ancestors left behind, you may not even understand the word ancestor, and you are using it loosely. If you don't understand the word ancestor, and you don't understand the source, and you don't understand how to respect 𝙏𝙗𝙪 𝙁𝙤𝙘, then you're nobody, because you don't know your history. In order to understand our ancestors, you have to understand your own history and how it works. Those ancestors and our elders never wish each other's death. They know that 𝙏𝙗𝙪 𝙁𝙤𝙘 does not condone murder, killing. They know that killing is only allowed when you go to fight a war to defend the people of Acholi land. So if you want to understand your ancestor. You go back to the roots and understand 𝙁𝙊𝙇 𝙁𝙗𝙗𝙗. If our ancestors is talking to you, then you should be somebody so special that they pick you to talk to you. And you have to behave in a manner that shows exactly that the ancestors picked you to talk to you. But if you behave the way you behave today, fighting everywhere you go, the names, all these people they fought, or somebody has threatened somebody at the petrol station with a gun a long time ago, or somebody has smashed somebody's windows, or you have boxed somebody at a stadium. It does not make sense. It is time you have to grow up. When I was growing up, my father used to tell me that death in itself is a mysterious phenomenon, that no one understands death. If we could see, predict, or touch death, most of us would call themselves wise men or women. You can wish someone else death, but the same death may come and take you first. And when you are gone, after a few days, life goes on as normal. Only those close to you may remember you once in a while. First, you people, you like fighting. You like fighting. You claim that some of you looks like giants. What nonsense coming out of the mouth of the so-called actually leaders. I have a lot of respect for our ancestors and ancestral spirit. Let's respect 𝙁𝙊𝙇 𝙁𝙗𝙗𝙗 and stop misusing the name of our ancestors for personal gain. The best advice I can give you, the two gentlemen, member of parliament, to go home, talk to the elders who understand the source of our ancestors, and beg for forgiveness. Try to understand the difference between the ancestors and ancestral spirits, how it works. Go back to the individual 𝙁𝙊𝙇 𝙁𝙗𝙗 and ask yourself to why every family in a Acholi homestay have 𝙁𝙊𝙇 𝙁𝙗𝙗. How does it function? We can claim to be leaders, elders, but if you don't respect your own 𝙁𝙊𝙇 𝙁𝙗𝙗, then you are a man without destination. You may claim that you are peddling through psychological trauma, that you have been going through good time and bad time for the last 35 years out in the position of leadership. But You are not a leader. You know, maybe we should do one thing. Ask the ancestors, ask our elders, ask other people who are in leadership role in 𝙁𝙊𝙘𝙀. Let's send a call to Italy to have a crash course in martial arts. Let's send 𝙏𝙗𝙖𝙣𝙠 to America to have a crash course in boxing. Maybe we can ask Tyson to train him. We give them a crash course. And when they come back, we organize a competition, a fighting competition in 𝙏𝙗𝙖𝙑 Stadium. We let the two gentlemen with their martial art, with their boxing technique, with that business of eating the game meats and making you stronger than anybody, let them fight it out in 𝙏𝙗𝙖𝙑 Stadium. There will be no referee. There will be nowhere to run. We will call people from Aru. We will call people from Amoro district. We will call people from Gulu and other Kitgum. You come and we surround the 𝙏𝙗𝙖𝙑 Stadium and let them fight until one of them says, I don't want to fight anymore. Enough is enough. And then we'll ask you to go home and start digging. Do something else. Leave the leadership role to some people who can do it better. So ladies and gentlemen, wherever you are, you have to understand that everybody is paddling through a psychological trauma that we had been going through since 1971. Let's not make it worse than what it is today. Let's correct it, correct our mistakes, and stop this nonsense of unnecessary fight among ourselves as people of 𝙁𝙊𝙘𝙀. Thank you for listening.